you're a professional?
Are you?
That's it, Clark. Show him who's boss.
Oh, we're all in this together.
Griswold gang, welcome back, and if you are new to the channel, then welcome to you guys. I'm glad you guys are here. Glad to be here. Hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. Guys, if you're new to the channel, new to the Strat, or just struggling in your trading journey, we're about to change all that and make you profitable and consistent. But you need to start by going down below, clicking that subscribe button, and then hitting that bell. That is the important part. That bell sends you the notifications for when I send out videos just like this one. This is our weekly swing plays for the week of July 5th. It is a short week, 4 days, due to the July 4th long weekend. Happy July 4th to all my American friends. Guys, I send out daily videos on top 5 setups every day, a main watch list for plays every day. I send out these weekly swings, monthly swings, quarterly swings. I've got over 200 plus videos for you guys to learn off of, to learn the strat, to help you guys become consistently better traders, consistently profitable traders, and that is the goal here, okay? To make consistent, profitable traders, okay? That is my goal. That should be your goal. So 200 videos, and I go through everything, whether it's broadening formations, what the candlestick numbers mean, how to trade certain setups, what those setups are, and I do trade reviews to go through trades that we've actually taken. You can also follow me on Twitter. I send out tweets throughout the day on possible setups that are happening, so you guys are able to jump in on those, okay? And if you have questions or comments, you can leave them in my DMs. You can leave them. You can just tweet right at me. I will answer them for you. I'll get back to you guys within the same day. A couple other points to hit on quickly here before we get started. This platform that I use for these charts is called TradingView. If you haven't used it, if you're looking for a platform to use, go to the description below, There's a link there. That link will give you a free 30-day trial. If you like what you're using, there's 3 paid subscriptions that you can get, okay? With that link, you'll also get up to $30 off of those subscriptions, depending on which one you choose. So go down below, click that link, and get your subscription for TradingView. The last thing I want to go through, the ads, guys. The ads keep this content free for you guys. It keeps me from starting a Discord, starting a website where I'm charging you guys to get all this information. So watch those ads. I know they suck. I know they're annoying. Let them play through. Go get a drink and come back. But those ads keep the money in your pockets and lets this education be free. Let the advertisers that put those ads on, let the advertisers pay for your guys' education in this and keep your money in your pockets, keep it in the stock market. With that, guys, let's get started on the weekly swings for July 5th. The first one I've got on the list is BA, it's Boeing. So Boeing has this 2 up that finished red, okay? And it's also tagging the top of a broadening formation. This one's a little bit different just because we have this, this pink line is our trigger for the weekly to go down for a 2 up, 2 down reversal. But we also have this blue line, which on the monthly chart, we've got a 2 down red. So if I go to the monthly, sorry, a 2 down green, we're looking for a 2 up reversal on the month. Okay, so that's where there's a little bit of conflict, and we just have to wait to see what happens. So you can take this trigger, and if we trigger to the downside, this week, this month, this quarterly, and this yearly will all be red. If we trigger up through the monthly, this week, this month, this quarterly will all be green, okay? So I talked about this on the daily setups. This is until we get out of Tuesday, we're not going to really know what we've got with these 3 indicators, and the daily can be thrown in there as well. But if you're looking at the weekly swings, for Boeing, we are looking for a 2 down triggered off of this 131.60, and then no different than any other video, we go through the bottom of the preceding wick right here is our first target. Okay, let's move on to Apple. AAPL. So Apple, same thing, has a 2 up that finished red. We're going to look for puts on Apple at $133.77. Currently full time frame to the downside, but again, if the week opens up and we trend up, these three, quarterly, monthly, and weekly, will all be showing green. Okay, we'll go on to Adobe, ADBE. Adobe's got, and we talked about Adobe on the daily just because these yellow lines are our daily triggers. So there's an inside bar on the daily. If we trigger to the downside on the daily, our first target is the weekly trigger. So again, with time frame continuity, with this being a 2 up finishing red, I'm going to look for Adobe to continue its downtrend. Okay, and I'm going to look for a 2 up, which we've got, and then this next candle on the week should be a 2 down. And this pink line is our trigger for puts at 357.56. And then our first target, as always, is just the bottom of the preceding wick. As we move on to BIDU, same thing, 2 up, finished red. We've got our put trigger here at 146.45, and the targets, again, bottom of the preceding wicks. What's this purple line? This purple line is for our quarterly swings, our 3-month swing plays. Okay, so right now we've got a 2 down that finished green, and we're sitting inside bar right now. So if we trigger through that purple line, and we'll go through this in the quarterly swing video, but you can look for this to trend up if it triggers through, and we'll have a 2 down, 2 up reversal on BIDU. So let's switch back to the weeklies. We'll go into Chewy, which is next. Chewy, same thing, 2 up red. It does have a hammer candle, but we're going to look for puts on Chewy, a 2 up, 2 down reversal with puts at $34.02. CVX inside bar. You guys know about my inside bar theory. If you don't, inside bars only break or only stay within, inside bars stay within the range of the previous candle, okay? So they don't break the high, they don't break the low. It's a tightening range. You can look at inside bars as a coil or a spring. And when you tighten that spring, it tends to explode in one direction or the other. That's what we're looking for to happen on Chevron. And actually, oil and gas is pretty prevalent on the quarterly charts. So we'll look at those on the quarterly video. But we can take calls at 152.19 or puts at 142.47. Our first target to the downside is our trigger for the quarterly to be 2 down on the quarterly charts. Okay, so just pay attention to this because CVX Chevron could very well be trending lower than what this broadening formation is showing, or it could reverse back to the top and tag it. But we'll see what happens on Chevron on the weekly. Let's move on. I was actually going to show you these inside bar setups. So here is an inside bar previously on Chevron, and we had a nice trend up. Okay, if we go back to find the next one, trend up through the first target, which would have been here. This inside bar trended up. I don't know. We have to go back to see if we hit targets, and I'm not going back that far. But again, here's another inside bar, and this one just shows you that it doesn't always work out, okay? We trended down and then reversed right back up without a target. Here, we trended down and reversed right back up without hitting a target. Here, another trend to the downside without hitting targets. So 3 in a row, guys. It's not that wasn't profitable, but the probability is that, yes, they work out more often than not. So here's one that does, a really nice gain to the upside. Here's another one, really nice gain to the downside. And when I'm looking at these, here's another one with a really good trend to the downside. So when I'm looking at option plays, guys, on the weekly, I take 2 weeks out. I like to have that little extra week just in case. The daily trades, I take the closest expiry. The weeklies, I like to take 2 weeks out. Monthly, I'm looking at a month and a half when I take those, okay? So CVX inside bar. We'll move on to DDOG. Datadog also with, looks like an inside bar, but we have a 2 up that finished red, so a failed 2. We'll look for puts at $90.46. DIA 2 up, finished red. Look for puts at 304.25, target 1, target 2 at the bottom of these wicks. Disney 2 up, finished red. We'll look for puts at 92.54 on Disney. DWAC, like I talked about in the daily, I don't usually have these on here, but the daily had a, look, it's either an inside bar or a 3-1 setup, I don't recall. Let's go check it out. Inside bar. It was actually a 3-1 setup, sorry. And then we have this. So if we trend to the upside and trigger on the daily, we're likely triggering on the weekly as well. But again, DWAC, the spread between the bid and the ask is not great, so it's not really my cup of tea. Home Depot, another one of those ones that has a wide spread between the bid and the ask, but we do have a 2 up that finished red, so we can look for puts on this one at 268.04. MGM Grand, MGM Resorts International, 2 up red. We can look for puts at 28.09. Mr. Softy, that's Microsoft, 2 up, finished red. We'll look for puts on Microsoft at 252.90. And then again, the bottom of the wicks are our targets, or magnitude, or pivot points, or where we take our profit. Okay, Palantir, inside bar on the weekly, inside bar on the monthly. So if we trigger to the upside on the weekly, we're likely triggering on the monthly as well. And then a little bit different story for the weekly. To the downside, if we trigger, we need to hit 2 targets before we trigger to the downside on the monthly on Palantir. RBLX 2 up, finished red. Okay, so we can look for puts on this one at, wait till it pops up here. There we go. 31.83 is where we'd be taking our play for puts on Roblox. And I was going to point out to you guys, we really don't need, you don't need to have this. These colors don't matter in reality. This could still be green and it would still be a 2-2 reversal to the downside. I was just going to go back and try and find an example of where we've got, you know, a 2 up or a 2 down that stayed within its color and just reversed the other way. Let me see. So here's one here. We had a 2 down that finished red, but we still, actually that's another 2 down there. Well, here's one. And it wasn't great, but it was a 2 up green, and we still reversed to the downside. Okay, here's a 2 down red, but we still reversed to the upside. So the colors don't really matter. They just give us more probability when they have the setups like I'm showing you. When it's a 2 up red or a 2 down green, the probabilities of a reversal are much higher. Okay, so we'll go to Snap now. SNAP has a 2 up red. We can look for puts at $12.80. SPY 2 up red. So again, we can look for puts on this one at $372.56. First target is at 370.14. TDOC is Teladoc Health, 2 up red. Looking for puts at $31.93. These blue lines means they're 212, means there's an inside bar likely on the monthly chart. And we have a double inside bar, so make sure you guys are watching that monthly swing video, and we'll go over that double inside bar setup on TDOC. Visa is next, 2 up red, puts at 192.85. Again, target 1, target 2, just at the bottom of the preceding wicks. Wells Fargo, WFC. If we can get into it, there we go. WFC, 2 up red again. Same play as everything else. We'll look for puts at 38.28 and target 1 and target 2. And then you can see here this purple line that we've got. That's our quarterly trigger to go 2 down on the 3-month chart for WFC. Walmart, 2 up red. We're looking for puts at 119.89. If we trigger this and hit targets, then we are also triggering a 2 down reversal on Walmart on the monthly. Okay. XOM, here's another oil and gas play. 2 up red. We'll look for puts at 84.67. And again, This is our monthly trigger. If we trigger on the weekly and hit targets, we are triggering on the monthly. So if this happens, then that happens. The weekly is triggering the monthly, and that's kind of the way the strat works. It's a domino effect most times, okay? Beyond is next. Beyond, again, 2 down green, and this one with this little doji here could have gone either way. It could have been green or red, and that's what I've been talking about. It doesn't matter the color. All we're looking for is the next 2, and we're looking for 2-2 reversals. So if this is a 2-2 continuation to the downside, and it's another 2, we're not interested in playing it. We're looking for the next 2 reversal, okay? So 2 down, 2 up is what we're looking for, and we can take calls on this one at 26.68, and then we have this little monthly trigger up here. And if we go to the monthly, we've got this inside bar from June, and we've got July's bar right here sitting inside, waiting to trigger up here, or looking to trigger for puts down here. So we'll monitor beyond and see what happens with that. Next up is Netflix. NFLX 2 up, finished red. We can look for puts on this one at 170.30. The monthly, we are also looking for a 2-2 reversal. So again, we look for that whatever happens on the weekly. If the weekly triggers, it'll trigger on the monthly. So we're looking for a 2 up, 2 down on the week, 2 up, 2 down on the month. And then whatever this daily shows here, sure enough, and it's very possible, again, we could see this 2 up, 2 down on the day, okay? And that's a lot of times what happens. The day triggers the week, triggers the month. Okay, and then we'll go to GME here. And GME, again, I have this on here, but we can show you guys again. We don't, just because this is red, doesn't mean it won't reverse back to the upside. So we can look, and we'll just leave it on here, but we can look for calls at 137.05. The problem is, on the monthly, we are looking for a 2 down reversal based off of this blue line that we've got here. And then we go to the quarterly, we're also looking for a 2 down reversal on the quarterly. So the weekly very well may be a 2-2 continuation to the downside, and that's fine. And we're looking at this time frame continuity here. This quarterly and this monthly and this weekly, if we trend up, all of these will be green, okay, if we go through that trigger. And then obviously if it continues down with a 2-2 continuation, they're obviously all going to be red. Okay guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you're following on Twitter. Subscribe down below. Click that bell. Watch those crappy ads for me. I appreciate it. And we will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.